After posting a video on my 22 Sherco and mentioning that I changed the clutch, I had a few people ask for more details, so that's what I'm going to get into in this video. The biggest change I make is internal. I go from this Precharge washer to this one that is slightly thinner. This is from a 2017 model and it does quite a bit to quicken the clutch, but it also comes at the cost of a stiffer clutch pull. This can lead to arm pump and it does make it slightly harder to slip. That's why I recommend sticking with the stock setup for most people. It's not until you are an expert or pro national level rider that this one will start to pay off. The next change was new last year. The bikes had been coming with this master cylinder, which I had been using for a while, but the Fajardo Replica came with this one, which I now prefer. It feels like it has a slightly more narrow slipping window, so you don't have to move the lever as far to do everything you need to do. It also feels like it reacts a bit quicker, and the lever is shaped more like the front brake, so that's why I prefer it over this one. But they both work really well. I could use either one, but I'm going to continue to use this one. For oil, I use 580 cc's of Motul ATF. This is actually what the factory recommends now. I have tried some different oils, anywhere from 450 to 700 cc's, but this seems to be the best setup with the least amount of drag. Hopefully that answers your questions about my clutch setup. They can be pretty personal preference, so I don't recommend this to everyone, but if you are looking for a quicker, more responsive clutch, and you don't mind a stiffer pull, this may be worth trying. You can actually go stiffer than this, but I didn't like that, so I'm going to stick with this for now. I think it's time to go show it in action with a section in the shed. This one starts out pretty technical. You have to land the front tire pretty close to that point. Keep it up on the ridge so you don't slide off on that angle. Make the turn. This step is pretty tight spacing, so front tire is almost more on top of it than into the face of it when you do that second blip. Right into a very steep down. Try to get set up for the next thing. And a lot of times when I'm setting up for something, especially if I have to shift, which I'm going to second gear for this one, I'll use 4 fingers on the clutch to take a bit of strain off of my arms. It also makes the bike a little bit easier to shift when the clutch is all the way in. And for this step, this is where the faster clutch definitely pays off, because I don't have much run, so I want instant power, and I know I'll get that as soon as I pop it. Flies right up. And another splatter here. This one taking off of gravel, and there's a bit of a pocket, so I can use that as the kicker, but my front tire is actually in front of the kicker, so I have to be pretty quick with the clutch to get full pop, clear the distance, and get the height. Now back down to first gear and going to gap over those pieces over there. Now this one I want to make sure rear tire is hanging off the edge and pretty far right. So that should work. And I'm going to be slipping into the takeoff here. Get off the rear brake, slip the clutch and go.